Welcome back to this week's episode of Made for Mexico. This is the show where we discover if you are made for Mexico. I am Brett May, TIM. This is Mexico. Now, today we have a very special guest, a guy who literally rides the edge. He's a professional surfer. He's a family man. He's a fighter. And he's a survivor. We have a guy that has stared down 60-foot walls of water at Jaws. Amazing. And he just keeps coming back for more. Besides riding waves in Hawaii and California, he's fallen in love with another place, a place called Mexico, and specifically the eastern Oaxaca coast of Mexico. So I welcome a good friend. Very honored to have him here. Welcome to Made for Mexico, Mr. Billy Kemper.
Aloha, Brent, and all of Mexico. Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here, Billy. And, you know, I hadn't seen you for a little while, so I was reminiscing, preparing for the show and, you know, thinking about some adventures we have. But first off, how's your stay going this trip?
It's been insane. I'm very tired. I'm very surfed out, which is always a good sign, because if you're surfed out, the waves are good. Yep. And that's what I come here for. The waves are insane. The food's been insane. We're enjoying our time.
That's good. That's good to hear. So Billy, what's, I guess, drawn you here to Oaxaca? I don't know if you remember kind of the first time you came or the first epic wave you caught.
Yeah, you know, I've been all around Mexico, but it wasn't till I think 2008 or 2009. I was invited with Sonny Garcia to come down here, who's a world champion professional surfer. And we came down. I had no idea where I was going. I couldn't even pronounce where I had no idea where I was. I just knew there was these right sandbar points, and I was like, these are my dreams, you know? I got picked up at the airport by this guy named Hill, and the rest was history. It's 2025 now, and I come back here year after year for the amazing waves, the food, and honestly, this little town right here, there's just something about it. It's so safe. It's so warm and welcoming. And a lot of people, especially where I'm from, they have a little bit of fear of Mexico. And there is none of that here. Yeah. And it's something I try to spread. You know, in Hawaii, we spread the aloha, and I try to spread that as much as I can. And I'm looking forward to actually hopefully returning later on this year with my family. So this place it's not only for professional surfers, it's for everyone. And that's literally what's drawn me back here the last 10 years. Yeah,
well, you know, for whatever the reason was and that brought you here, you definitely hit the good spot. And I traveled Mexico for 15 years before I found it. And, you know, you definitely hit the best one. And I agree, it's just, unfortunately, Canadians, Americans have been fed so much propaganda, you know, to be scared of this beautiful country. But it's a really, really wonderful place. So can you describe the first wave you caught here in Mexico in general? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Yeah, my first trip to Mexico was my first professional surfing contest. And I got second place in it. And I was 17 years old. And it was in Ensenada. It was just right across the border. So it wasn't deep or nearly where we are now. But it was in... you know, the country of Mexico. Yeah. And it was something that I will remember forever because it was my first final as a professional surfer. I was young. It was the first moment that gave me the I wouldn't say the thought, because I always dreamed and thought about being a pro surfer, but it really I don't know, it gave me an extra notification of power. You can do this. This is what your destiny is. Yeah. This is what you're made for. And to just always remember that Mexico gave that first feeling to me and was really a big part of the start of my career, it's with me forever.
Wow, that's so cool. I had no idea. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I'm so bad with time. I forget what year it was, but this is when I just first met you. We hadn't met yet, but I watched you in Porto Escondido for the what was the Big Wave, Porto Big Wave Cup or something like that, I think it was called?
The Big Wave event.
And you won that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last Big Wave event I think they might have had there when WSL was running. And I drove after the final. I drove straight here.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time I maybe stayed at my favorite place here in Huatuco. And we scored the same waves I surfed today.
Yeah.
And that, like, literally, that's funny. That's really cool you're there. That trophy is on my wall, and it's one of the skulls, and it's painted.
Oh yeah. And
it's like I have tattoos of that, and it's like it's one of my favorite trophies I've ever won in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool contest. It was my first big kind of contest just as a spectator, and we were sponsoring Roger Ramirez, so I kind of got a little more involved there. So, and then we came back, and you were like, I won this, and now I'm going to go to the secret spots in Eastern Oaxaca, and then I met you through Hill, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you feel it is that keeps bringing you back to this area? I mean, besides the waves, what do you think it is?
I love food. One thing is I love food. Another thing a lot of people don't know about me is my mother's side of my family, my last name is Diaz, and they're 100% Spanish, Mexican. Like, my mom had 7 sisters and 3 brothers, a true Mexican family. And I don't know, in some ways I do feel some sort of connection. I don't know really much about the culture at all. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school. I didn't pay attention to one thing in school. That's why I'm a surfer, not behind a desk running a job like you. But I don't know. I feel like I need to learn more about it.
Yeah.
The more I learn, the more I'm connected and like happier. And I came here a couple years ago with my family because I loved it so much, and I wanted to kind of show them why I come here. And it's not those waves. A big part of it is the waves we surf today.
Yeah. And
for the last 10 years. But it's also, I have this relationship with Hill now. It's going on years and years and years where we're friends.
Yeah.
He's not my surf guide anymore. He's not, I don't look at it like that. It's not like a job. We're talking, driving around, talking about our families, our relationships, and just life in general, and how we can help and make other people happy and grateful for life. And I think that's something, I have some friends here. I'm building just a closer connection with this community in general.
Yeah.
And I like to do that in places. I don't like to spread myself too thin. I rather try to make an impact in maybe a couple places rather than like kind of reign around. Just be a little more powerful and have more quality versus quantity. And I kind of take my whole life at that approach. And I look at that as where I travel to. I'm kind of, I shouldn't say I'm done traveling to new places, but it's kind of rare that I do.
Right.
There's certain places around the world that I have a connection to, and this town is definitely one of them.
Yeah, well, you're with the right guy with Hill. He's an ambassador to this area. And ironically, he was just on the show before you. So it's kind of funny. We literally just finished the show, and I heard, ring, ring, Billy Kemper's calling. He's coming down. I'm like, no way. Maybe I can get him on the show.
We're on. See, you guys are, it's all going to make sense when people are watching this. They're going to be like, oh, that guy really is a legend. I'm not the legend, Hill is. And the one thing I want to just take a little second to really understand about him is I am a world champion, a big wave surfer, but I'm also a father. I have a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old. 4 boys. Their 2 oldest are musicians. My younger ones, one of them plays flag football, one of them's into surfing. None of my kids by any means are like dedicated to surfing the way I am or the way I was.
Right.
So I try to tell people this isn't a place for Billy Kemper. This is a place for everyone.
Right.
And Gil is the ultimate person for everyone.
Yeah.
Watching him interact with my kids when I was here was like, oh, he's not just guiding pro surfers.
Yeah.
He took me to the most beautiful beach in the world for my wife and my kids. I mean, I didn't know what to do on the beach, but kind of just take photos of them and walk around because there's no waves, but it was beautiful. Like it was out of a movie. And I think people kind of can't relate to me when I'm on a surf trip because I mean, some people can and some people can't, just the way I can't relate to what you do for your job. Sure. It's just not realistic. I don't know what it's like to, sit in that seat. And it's something I really want to just like highlight on Hill is not just for big wave world champions or professional surfers. Like really, this man is, he fills the shoes for everyone in your family, whether you like the ocean or the mountains. The guy knows the land and water like the back of his hand. And that's something that's a lot of people don't know, is how much time he's spent in the mountains, whether it's mountain biking, running, hiking, waterfalls, farming. There's a lot of that about that man that people don't know. And as a friend, I want people to know what they're going to get when they experience that guiding system with him.
It's so true. And it's all just so natural with Hill because he's so passionate about where he lives and his life he lives, and all it is him just sharing his life, and that's why it's so natural and why you guys, I think, have become such good friends, because he's just sharing who he is and the life he lives, and your family gets to take that in. We had some good times. I was actually just laughing out loud. I was driving home and I completely forgot about this, but we were taking you guys all out to, I think it was Conejos to do some surfing with the kids on the smaller waves. And I was driving my Chevy Avalanche and my Avalanche broke down in the middle of the highway. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I got Billy Kemper and the whole family.
I do remember that.
But we got her off to the side and we recovered and got you guys out there. And I've never seen that vehicle since. I said, okay, I'm done with this thing.
Send that one off.
Yeah. So, I guess, you've surfed waves that are kind of defy what humans really do. I've seen you in pictures and videos and it's almost looked like it should be AI generated or something. It's like, I can't believe you're on that. How do you feel waves here in Mexico? I mean, I guess I'd say specifically the Mexican pipeline, Zicatela, or the secret spot not too many people know about, but a guy like you at Mahahual here on the eastern coast. How does that energy compare with other waves you've surfed around the world?
I mean, there is tons of perfect sandbar points on this whole coastline, but there's one in specific that lays very close to this town that has it just packs a different punch than any wave I've surfed in all of this coast. It's really similar to what I grew up surfing at home. Not the sand point, but just the feeling and the power of the wave. There's a lot of relatability. And then you have the Mexican pipeline, Puerto Escondido. That is one of the greatest waves on planet Earth. Hate it or love it, there is, a lot of some of the greatest barrel rides in the history of surfing have went down out there. That wave has beaten the living breaks out of me. Like, I have probably my worst wipeout of my life was out there.
Wow.
And me and Cole Rothman were talking about it today, and he just was just like, I forgot about that. Like, it's crazy that I walked away from it. We could probably pull it up on YouTube later, but that wave, it's no fucking joke. Like, it's very heavy. It packs a punch, very similar to the waves that I grew up surfing in Hawaii. So I do feel, I feel comfortable. Like I can relate a lot. The water is warmer here, so that is a bit different. And the air is a lot warmer, so I fatigue faster. But those waves, compared to what I grew up surfing, very similar.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Very similar as far as power and quality. I mean, they're as good as any waves in the world, and Hawaii has the best waves in the world.
Yeah. And your guys' seasons kind of alternate, right?
It's links up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
Hawaii is a northern hemisphere time of year. Northern hemisphere type of place. We do get southern hemisphere swells, but the northern hemisphere is what lights up the pipeline, Sunset Beach, Waimea, Haleiwa, Jaws. And then summertime here, southern hemisphere sends these swells, normally either the ones that hit Chile and Peru up into here, or the ones that sometimes come from more like Tahiti, and those ones kind of hit the southern parts of the islands in Hawaii and then back up to here.
Okay.
So, Hawaii season for me is November through April, and Mexico is, May through September. I'm really like locking in, looking around out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
How would you describe, I guess, the local surf culture here in Mexico?
It's growing.
Yeah.
If I could say one thing, it's growing faster than I ever thought it would.
Okay.
I used to surf some of these waves with not a person in sight. And now there's a handful of locals, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Because surfing was born in my home.
Right.
And to see it in a place where I have some of my heritage, my family came from, I didn't grow up here. I have no connection as far as like time being spent aside from coming and surfing and traveling through different places in Mexico, that it's really just it's unbelievable. When you look at it as a whole like that, it's
You had some young guys out on sharing the wave with you these last couple of days.
Yeah, I was down surfing a wave, and there's a little farm village right there, and this little kid popped out of the bush with a surfboard, long hair. He's 9 years old, and these waves are, they're pretty heavy. Like, I'm not surfing big waves. I'm surfing really good quality waves, but way overhead and very powerful. Some big rocks in the way, along with the hard packed sand bottom. And this kid paddled out the first day with me and just like was charging and had the greatest attitude. And yeah, after hanging out with him the day, and then the next day he was there at 5 a.m. when I showed up in the dark, that I actually brought him back to our place last night. I asked Hill, I said, who's his family? And he's like, oh, they live in the farm right there. I was like, can we bring him back to the condo and let him have dinner with us? Give him some clothes, some stickers. And he was just like, his eyes lit up. And the kid now, I guess, he's super bummed because we're heading home tomorrow. And he told Hill, like, is tomorrow morning really the last session? Like,
yeah.
So, I think as far as the surf culture here in Huatuco, in this area, it is growing very fast, and you have 9-year-olds charging, and I love it. I love seeing that. I love seeing the local people.
Yeah.
Because for a while it was the local people taking the foreigners to surf, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more local people surfing with the foreigners, because surfing, it does something for you.
Yeah.
It's not just for a job and for money. Take all that away from me. Take everything I have away from me. I'm still going to be surfing because I love it. And it makes me a better person. And I see these Mexicans out there surfing, enjoying themselves, and they're all smiling.
Yeah.
And know that surfing is giving back to this culture and this community right here is, it's truly a blessing.
It really is. And Hill's such a, I guess, I had him on the show, as I was saying last week, and he just puts things in front of me, points things out where maybe there's a little need or you can a little help, and these people that are, doing their best, but also doing what it takes, having the skills to advance and get better. And so we got a couple of really good surfers on the Bayside surf team from Barra. Some really good guys out of Porto, and 90% of it's because of Hill, bringing this stuff to my attention. And, it's special to make a difference.
For sure. I think did you sponsored a little girl down at Barra?
Coral. Yeah.
She was ripping. I surfed with her yesterday in Hill.
And she is ripped.
She's a little animal.
Yeah.
Like I told her, I took a photo with her today. I was like,
did you?
Keep going. Yeah, I love that. Like I really do.
Yeah.
And they were like weird to take a photo. I was like, hey, this is your home. Look at me and say, come here. Like I'm honored. And that's what I try to tell people. I'm still a kid dreaming as if I was who I am right now.
Oh, yeah.
And if you wake me up, I don't want to see what's happening. Just let me keep dreaming.
Yeah.
I tell every kid that I'm still the same. I'm thinking the same way you are.
Yeah.
And to see that you're helping that little girl, I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm friends with a few of the kids that you help, and it's awesome. You know, the gift of giving back is more rewarding than receiving.
It really is. Yeah.
And Kobe Bryant said it in an interview when I was really young. I read it and it didn't make sense to me. I was like, what does that mean? He has diamond rings. Like, I want world titles.
Yeah.
And after the world titles and after the wins and everything, I realized if I can help one person be better than they were today, like that is way bigger. I feel so much better going to sleep than I do winning a check or a trophy.
Yep.
Because that feeling's forever. That check's going to run out. That trophy, there's going to be a new champion one day.
Yeah.
Everything's, we're all human. It's part of it.
Yeah.
But when you give back to someone, you can't take that away because it's with them forever.
Yeah.
So I honestly thank you for what you're doing. It's really inspiring. I'm trying to do more for not only my community, but other communities, whether I travel or whatnot. Like, I want to get my hands, more dirty and being more involved with the cultures and in finding ways of how I can give back. Because, like I said, if I can help that one kid take one extra step forward, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, a little bit of effort goes a long ways.
Exactly.
And there is something special making a difference in people's lives. And, I don't know, there's someone that said too, it's like, giving back is actually a selfish act because of how good it makes you feel.
Yep.
And it's true. So, are there any local surfers? And I think I already know the answer to this. Surfers are communities that have really inspired or impressed you here in Oaxaca.
I mean, this little guy today, the last few days, this little guy, Pancho, his name, I didn't know what it was until today. His name is actually Angel.
Okay.
But everyone around here calls him Pancho, little Pancho. And you guys will meet him soon. I don't know, maybe if there's a way to throw a little picture in here on this podcast when people watch it.
Yeah.
He's somebody to keep your eyes out for. And I'm going to do everything I can in my will to help him and continue that relationship throughout the years as he grows into hopefully being the best surfer Mexico's ever had.
Yeah. Well, it's, I'm sure very inspiring for him just seeing a guy like you here. And it's like, role models these young guys can look up to, and, that makes all the difference. So, I say to my team, it's just, you don't realize how much these younger kids are looking at your every move and everything you do. So your actions mean a lot. And, well, shifting gears a little bit, Billy, something more serious. You've had some very serious injuries in your career and stuff that you've had to overcome mentally, physically. Has Mexico played any part on that on a spiritual level, on a healing level, in any which way with some of the,
For sure. 100%. I feel like everywhere I've traveled to has. I've had horrible wipeouts, falls at basically every wave around the world. It just comes with it. And I think all those falls kind of help build your confidence throughout life. And then I've also had some of the best rides of my life here in Mexico. There's one wave in particular out at Porto that I don't think will ever leave my brain.
Right.
And just having those moments and those thoughts when you are hurt, those are the things that bring you up every day and be like, fuck, I got to get after it. I got to get back out there.
Right.
In Porto and Pascuales and right here in Huatuco, these were always places on my mind when I was hurt, being like, be motivated to travel the world again and go back to your favorite places and do what you love to do, because it gets dark and I've been injured a lot. And, it's like, how many times am I going to go through physical therapy and another surgery, another stem cell treatment? It's like, it becomes practice. Right. And it's hard to understand when I tell people that. They're like, what do you mean an injuries practice? I was like, hey, it's part of my life. I got to practice. It's just, I got to stay, consistent with it and keep going. So yeah, at the end of the day, Mexico has definitely played a toll in how I've recovered and how I've came back throughout my career. It's inspired me to, continue fighting and continue being a surfer, because I love traveling here. I love surfing the waves here. And yeah, I would hate to, end my life without surfing here ever again. Yeah. I got a lot more trips here. Yeah. Whether they're surf trips with me and my friends, for our careers, or family trips, enjoying the beautiful coastlines, the mountains, the food, the culture. Yeah. Either side, I got many more in me. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Is there something you feel spiritually that happens here in places like Oaxaca, beyond, the physical challenge you face surfing, but, something that connects to you spiritually with? Yeah. I think I do, like, I think I said this at the beginning of the podcast. There's something about the safety or just like the safeness. It's really warm here. I feel warm. And there's places around the world where I travel basically for a living. You have to have a guard up. Right. Like kind of a shield. Yeah. And I'm not, I'm so honored when people want to take pictures and ask for autographs. Like, it really is. I'm a kid living a dream. Yeah. But when you're traveling in public in, third world countries or places just around the world, you have to have a little bit of a guard up, like just out of a safety net. This place spiritually has like taken all that away from me. Like, when I arrive here, I just feel like I can like put my guard down and I can just chill. It's like so relaxing and just, I don't know. I've never felt that, anywhere else in Mexico than right here. Like, I honestly, like, it's something about landing at that little airport and just walking right out, hopping in Hill's truck. And, one thing is it's so close and easy to get to, you know, close drive into town, good food. I'm definitely spiritually connected to this place. It makes me, a better person every time I come here. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that airport, it's the cutest little airport you ever did see, with little palapas and 10 minutes away from town. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just so easy. What would you say the most memorable wave that you've ridden in Mexico? I had one in the WSL event at Puerto Escondido that is still to this day one of the best rides of my life. Yeah. And I will probably say that if I make it another, I don't know how old I'm going to live till, but it'll probably be with me forever. That one. And I had a wave today that, it wasn't the biggest wave of my life or the best wave of my life, but it was one of the best waves I've ever caught on this coastline right here. And I definitely, like, it's embedded in my brain. I'm still riding the wave, as I say. It's a high, it's a feeling that, like, you can't come off of. And for me, those waves are waves I don't think I'm going to make, and I make them. Okay. That gives me that feeling. Right. I've read the ocean more than I've read, the newspaper or books growing up. Like, I know the ocean better than I know anything. Yeah. And I'm to a point where, like, I try to do something that I don't think I can do. And when you overcome that, it's that flow state it takes you to. Right. And I hit that today, and it was, it's honestly, it's been a while since I got a wave that good, and it felt really good. And I'm really stoked to be here. Yeah. Yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah. Oh, we're really stoked to have you here, Billy. It's an honor. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, does the wave like teach you something every time, kind of thing? Is it like, do you learn? No, I tell people it's what makes me black out. Like, I'm thinking about my kids as I'm talking right now because I miss them. Like, my brain's always going. I don't stop. And that those moments where I said you overcome something you don't think is, it's not that it's not possible, that you don't think you're going to succeed in. It's like that. It rips you off the world where time stands still.
Right.
And it's just like nothing, you can't hear or see anything else but just that moment. And
right.
to me, I tell people it's like a flow state.
Yeah.
You know, and that's that feeling. That it's, you know, I don't remember. It's just like, that's the feeling I chase, and I got that feeling today.
Oh, beautiful. That's awesome. So Billy, if you were to give some of the youngsters, you mentioned a young 9-year-old, and, you know, whether it's the 9-year-olds or, you know, young 20-year-olds that are all trying to make it, they're all trying to get to that level of ranks you are, taking on these heavy, big waves. What advice would you give these youngsters?
First advice is stay in school. Learn how to talk to people under pressure.
Right.
Even if you don't like it.
Right.
Be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Fall in love with surfing before you think about it being your career or job.
Right.
Because I tell people this all the time. You are great at what you do because you love what you do. Same thing for me.
Right.
And that's what makes us great. You know, we love it.
Yeah.
We're obsessed with it. It's our passion.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's the same thing for me. It's like when the waves are 1 foot and windy and cold, I'm still surfing.
Yeah.
People are like, you're a big wave surfer. I don't care.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's fun.
It gives me something that nothing else in the world does. And that's what I try to tell kids is like, fall in love with it. Be obsessed with it before you think of it as like, this is my job. Yeah. Because if you can do that, you'll be very successful.
You never work a day in your life if you love what you do, right?
Me and my wife argue about this all the time.
Yeah,
I gotta go to work, babe. You fucking love surfing. So it's all part of it, but it really is. You know, I do love it.
Speaking of your wife, how is Tahiti?
My wife is doing great. She's probably really jealous that she's not here right now because this is her favorite city in all of Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Along with all of my 4 kids. But there's been a lot of conversations with Hill and my wife and kids over the last couple of days about getting everyone over here maybe later on in the summer.
Cool. We'd love to have you back. Yeah, you got a very beautiful family around, and Tahiti's a real special gal.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed getting to know her.
Yeah, it's awesome too. And she's Hispanic herself. She has a Spanish background from her family. So, you know, we're not from here. We don't have immediate family who are from here, but we want to learn more about here because we do have a little bit of this in us and we love it. Like, we're proud of it.
Yeah.
And I want to learn more. And I think this is the city that I'm going to learn more about and be attached to for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I see that in you too, Billy. And which leads me into this, you know, how, maybe not even ask you a question on how to stay connected with the communities, how to give back. But, you know, we're obviously doing a lot with the surfers, and growing up as a hockey player in Canada, you know, we had a hockey program, and it's like, since I started skating when I was 2 years old, and there was just this regimented program, which was amazing. All this support and, you know, coaches and a whole program. And I don't see that down here in Mexico. So I've been trying to get involved in creating a little Bayside surf team. And actually just in Puerto Escondido last week, I met with my Porto team, and we're decided we're going to do some kids camps with the teams. And I call my surfers like the elites, kind of, or like they're the ones that are competing and traveling. They're contenders, right? And, but they need to give back, and they're so pumped to do it. So we're gonna start doing a few kid camps. So I'd love to have you, Billy, sometime in the future. Maybe we could do a little kids camp with you here on the Oaxaca coast.
Kids have my heart.
Yeah.
And I mean, sign me up. The next time I come here, I think it would be awesome to do like a Billy Kemper surf day at Barra.
Oh man, that would be special.
I have a great relationship with Puerto Escondido as well. You sponsor some amazing kids down there who I'm big fans of, and I think they're going to do an amazing job down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I do make it back out here in this summer, we're definitely going to put that on the schedule while I'm here. It would mean so much to me. And one of the companies I'm actually a part of right now, Black Bear, we're making soft tops, which are for kids and people to learn on.
Okay.
And I love teaching people what I love to do.
Oh yeah.
And if I can help a kid, with his technique or some questions, we'll film, I'll bring photographers, we'll bring some goodies for all the kids and just stoke them out. That's the least I can do. What you guys in this community and culture and ocean has given me, it'll be years of me trying to pay you guys back. I'm honored to be here, and I would be beyond honored to share my love for the ocean with this community and all the kids of Huatuco.
Well, that'll be amazing. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. He'll will love to hear that too, and it'll be a hit for sure. Well, if you're liking my content, please go below and subscribe to the Made for Mexico podcast. Like the video, share the video. I am here with surf legend Billy Kemper. Billy, you definitely illustrate how surfing is not just a sport, it's an absolute way of life, and it's real pleasure watching you and feeling your passion, seeing how you go after it, and also being able to get to know you, knowing your family, and seeing how great of a family man you are. So thank you so much for being here, Billy.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah.
You build me up way more than I am. I'm just another man on this world trying to hustle and live my life with a happy family. But it's been amazing, and I can't thank you and your entire crew here for always having the greatest hospitality. You've put not only myself and the best surfers in the world, but also my family, who I'm so protective over, in the most beautiful, safest homes here. If you guys need a safe vacation, no better people to hit up than him and Hill. They got you covered for everything you guys need. I will be hitting you guys up soon for my next trip. So
yeah,
thank you. And look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Sounds good, Billy. Well, this is Made for Mexico. TIM, this is Mexico, and I am Brett May. Adios.